identify yourself.
With a bomb.
I mean,
Literally.
It helps me get my groove on.
Listen up, ladies and gentlemen.
This is Boom Radio.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is the Boom Bar on your Boom Radio NG, and my name, Oladolupo.
Hello, welcome. My name is Tokubo Ojekunle.
My name is Shola Rogers. It's a pleasure to be at the bar today.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about a few things today. Quite a number of things, actually. There are a few ills in our society that we're going to be addressing today. Also, there's a bit of good news from the, what would I call it now, the economic angle. There's a lot of education issues, but there's also a lot of economic issues that we're going to be talking about today, breaking a lot of things down. A few updates from stories that we have talked about, yesterday, there also, and even last week. So those are things that we're going to be talking about today. A few stories also from the power sector, and maybe a bit of politics and sports, if time permits us. So sit back, relax, because we have so much to do and so much to talk about today before the end of the hour. So let's get right into it. Of course. Okay, no, let me say of course. There's a trending video that has been going around for the better part of today. And it's a video where a group of students were seen hitting... Oh, wait, let me get to the point where you can call them whatever after that. Where a few students were seen either hitting or just going about their business or laughing at where another girl was being hit or bullied, whichever one that you would call it. And apparently, somebody was taking the video, and the person posted the video on Snapchat, a social media app, in a bid to further humiliate the girl that was bullied. How dumb could you be? Like, you're wicked and then you're dumb. That's not a good combo. I'm sorry, I'm just saying.
Yeah, the Snapchat probably, she believed, was a smaller community.
Apparently, this is this video that now popped up and then it was all over social media. And then the school was identified. The students were identified. A few updates from it. The school has been shut down. Now, there are a few other videos that have now been popping out from a few bullying videos from the same school. In Abuja, yes, from the same school. I've seen about 2 other videos where other students were being bullied. In fact, by numerous students from the same school. There's also a video of the said aggressor to be apologizing to Nigerians and apologizing to the girl that she was hit. For context sake, there's the first video shows...
She apologized for...
Oh, yes. For assaulting...
Yes.
Dehumanizing and attempted murder. If you keep... Because you cannot hit someone, slap somebody about 17 times. What is it? What did she do? That's attempted murder. You are hitting her in the face. You can break her jaw. you can injure her skull. Anything can happen. It is attempted murder. No, there's nothing else anybody can say.
Okay, slow.
I'm not slowing any roll. It is attempted murder.
Abba.
Yes, it is.
Abba, we
No,
know.
Washola, it's a serious matter.
It is not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
There's manslaughter. There's more than.
No, attempted murder. For you
it's an
to
attempt.
hit
It's an
my
attempt.
child so much,
It's
you
not-
want to attempt to kill my child,
It's not-
and you are going to jail.
But look, I like this. That's a woman in you.
No,
You are going to jail.
It's a woman
There's
in
no,
you.
there's no,
No,
explanation.
no.
You are your parents.
What-
For your parents not to
is-
teach you.
What is attempted murder
Okay.
by law?
Okay, let's come back to that, Shola, because the
Yeah.
matter.
So what's the intention?
I want us to put everything in
No,
context.
because time will
No,
fly
let
off.
him continue.
We are going to come back. No, we are
If
going
this is
to.
the only thing we're going to talk about today, please.
We are
let him
coming back
continue.
to that attempted murder.
No,
thing.
let him start it.
I'm deeply hurt because
How is it
attempted murder?
How is it murder?
because
How is him not murder?
some weeks
Okay,
back,
sorry.
some weeks way back,
Okay.
right? We had a case in court. We had a case of bullying in court, and it ended sadly. Very bad. The memories are so
Yeah,
gory.
we talked about it, yes.
And it's all about bullying.
Yes,
bullying.
yes. We've seen how bad bullying can get.
Yes,
I get your point.
And gradually it's becoming a fad that has refused to fade.
Yeah, I totally agree
Over
with you.
time.
It's sad. Please, we're going back to the fact that he thinks that is not attempted murder. Why do I think that it is attempted murder? What is your intention?
Yeah.
Because if you watch that video and you listen to a bit of the audio, I think the conversation was about a boy or something funny like that. And then you are hitting someone in the face. Keep in mind, the face has the mouth, the teeth. The face is the covering of the brain. The brain is the most...
No,
let me finish.
I don't see why Shola is right.
Let me finish. Let me finish. The brain has the most important organ in the body. For people that do not know, you think it's the heart. No. The heart might stop. If the brain stops, that's the end. So, you are hitting someone in the face where it is close to the brain. I'm not actually joking. You
No,
could actually
but you're
get
serious.
injured. She could
You're
get
serious.
some level of skull damage or fracture. And you're not saying it's not attempted murder. She should be, all that apology that she's doing, left to me, trash.
Okay, now.
She should be arrested at this moment.
Let's talk about the bullying. Is bullying part of sports in schools now?
No.
Are they scoring them
because
for?
at this point,
Yeah. Because this is another sad case. My question is, when it goes on, what are the school authorities doing? Look, we've had cases of very prominent schools in the past. Schools where, well, the creme de la creme put their children. And bullying also took place there.
yes.
Over time and space. And some are still existing today. What happened then? How did it go? Because the graph went this way and the graph came back.
You know the sad
And
part.
it's going
You know
up
the
again.
sad part with bullying is that I don't understand, and maybe it's a human nature. We see it even with adults. People, it's almost like a vicious cycle. You get, especially in secondary schools, you get into secondary school, you get bullied as a junior, then you get into senior secondary, and then you that got bullied, that probably should learn from it, becomes the bully.
Yeah.
And then everybody keeps, it's almost like as if you are just waiting that
It's a cycle.
until
It's a cycle.
I become,
When I become
a senior,
I'm
I'm going to show.
I'm going to
It's
show.
such a very, very horrible thing. Sadly, it is what happens. We cannot all sit here and say that bullying was not a thing in school. Some people had it very hard, and that's the truth. Some people had it very difficult. Some people, as much as you see people growing up, there were, especially in boarding houses, you'll be the one to wash clothes for your seniors, do their laundry.
That's serving punishment.
No, you're not serving punishment. It's permanent. It was permanent.
Oh.
Seniors will
Okay.
not wash their clothes by themselves.
So there's a
It was
roster.
thing.
There's a roster
It
for.
was a thing. Yeah, They won't.
For
You're the one
serving
that
your-
will
you
fetch.
must serve your
Yes, you're the
seniors.
one that is fetching the water, or you do something that they deem is not good, and then you're probably sleeping under the bunk and doing all sorts of horrible things. Let's call a spade a spade. The bullying has always been. The sad part is that you would expect that as we become more enlightened, some of these things will get better. You become, from the fact that you, because as a junior, you are bullied, to maybe being a bully. And then you're now becoming a parent. And then you will think that some of these people would also teach their children to not be bullies. But no. You just overlook a lot of things.
I think both there's school authority to talk to, and there's the parents. Parenting is key.
Let's even go back from,
the
school authority is small. It's from the parents.
Parenting is key in this matter. And the earlier the parents begin to imagine it, because this is it. Parents pay the school fees, don't they? You pay such a huge amount of money for your child to attend, the school of the affluence. Let me use the word carefully, okay? Because that's usually what happens. High-flying schools really have high recordings of bully situations. And when it gets to that point, you paid, and your child becomes a victim, in quote, okay? Now, not only is your child a victim, the other parents, their child really are the ones carrying out all these things, okay? What do they see at home? Do they see case of a bullying scenario at home? What are they taking off home, and what are they taking off society and plunging into a school that has a structure of discipline, expected to have a structure of discipline? The school I attended personally, actually, it was a taboo. You just can't go scot-free. I was saying something earlier. I said the school I attended, right? Because we had older guys coming to school late in their
Which
in the
school
day.
did you attend,
Okay,
sir?
I attended Ibobi College. Okay,
Is it
now
a school in Nigeria?
it is in Nigeria, Shola. Now you asked me, and I'm
sorry, sir.
Shola, I'm
No,
getting
sorry.
somewhere.
I don't want
I'm
you to
getting
lose
somewhere.
your
No,
chain of
you
thought.
make me lose it. You make me lose
Sir,
it. In the
that
school, in the
that school,
school,
is it still in
in the
existence?
school,
You are looking for
in the
trouble.
school,
Please go ahead.
in the school, right? Okay, we had people who
Let's go.
came in from the war zones. They actually were not just boys.
You went to school during the war.
And they were not boys, Shola.
Wow.
And Shola, no.
They were
I'm
men.
coming back to that thing. I'm coming back to you. I'm hurt. I'm hurting now.
Wow.
And those guys came, and when they came and they joined, right? You just couldn't look them in the face and say, "Hey, come here, kneel down, put up your hands and close your eyes." Those things can you call those things bullying? They call them you are serving punishment, especially if you are badly behaved. Okay? Now, because you had them in the system, in the school system, right? Suddenly you have what I'll call a fear of not the unknown, of the known, because you know you dared not cross that line. But sadly and interestingly, those guys also knew their boundaries. They could wield those things, but they didn't wield those things because the school authority, the school gave everybody a check. You knew what you should do. And you were told that everybody under you means you are a year ahead or so. They are your junior brothers. They were your junior brothers. You had to hold them and protect them. And you couldn't do anything other than protect them. Now, if we're now getting into an age, and by the way, there were other schools that bullying was an art also, in quote.
Yeah.
In schools,
True.
yeah, in Lagos at that time, it was an art. It was an art. Okay? And it was, I don't know, teachers and the PTAs will come together to address some. Some they leave them and just let them fly and go. But hey, this is 2024. And the story has changed to become actual violence, chaos.
Proper violence.
Yes.
Okay, so SR, what do you have to say in this matter?
It's tough.
Because you seem very quiet.
No, it gathers storm gradually. SR gathers storm. And I can't wait for it. Yeah.
Bullying and parenting. Why would we lump both together? It's because they both are intertwined. Dolupo had already hinted that and said that, and of course, Tokumoja has also weighed in on it. Especially, it's enlightening for me to know that he went to school during the war, but I don't know if it's the Second World War or the First World War. It could not have been. It could not have been during.
There were people who came back from
during
the
the Civil War.
No, be mindful of what you're saying, because
So your
people
classmates-
from the East won't like what you're saying.
You didn't tell me it was that
No,
war.
don't
I
worry.
said which war?
You
Well, you know
leave
that we don't-
innuendos. You leave innuendos to gather
Let's just
storm.
continue.
No,
Can
I
we
know
just
that.
You leave
continue?
innuendos to gather storm.
I don't need
That's
anything
going to be.
gather anything.
That's going to be another topic entirely.
Tokumbo.
Let's
You
talk
actually
about
went
this
to-
issue
To
now.
school during Second World War.
Okay,
people
SR,
went
can
to-
we stay with the topic? Thanks.
Come and put hand inside my mouth. Like this.
No.
Come and put hand inside my mouth.
Do you?
So
do you take
Tokuba
part
went
in
to school.
bullying?
Their fellow Nigerians and people of the world. Tokuba went to school during the war.
Yes, go
And
ahead.
It's enlightening for me, and I wonder how
Enlightening
they
for
allowed
you.
they allowed bullying to enter our schools when we had war veterans like him.
No,
You know? So
no.
So I haven't
We're not.
established.
Not only did we
Okay,
attend, we also fought during the wars.
okay.
Yeah, we did. We
So-
fought on the side of federal troops.
Okay.
Then there was Biafran troops as well.
Okay, can we? We're not talking about civil
No,
war here.
no.
Thanks.
I need to answer his question
okay.
You must
because it's
acknowledge
dragging
your
some.
ancestors. You must
But
acknowledge
Shola, this is a
them.
very serious case. Come on, let's go back to this issue.
You think I'm playing?
But I have a feeling you are.
You think I'm playing?
I have a feeling
You
you
people
are.
have spent like 5 minutes going on about
He's
the
the
war.
one, really.
Yes.
Because
Thank you.
Can you bully situations?
Tokubo
You're in
is my
charge.
Ajasa, load on Ajasa.
You're in charge.
He has to put Ajasa.
You're in charge.
Bullying and parenting and war veterans all go together.
They don't.
It is
Pick your words carefully.
based off. No, I don't have to.
You said advice. So
Sue
you don't
me.
end up being
my
bullied
God.
here.
No,
No, can we
you
just
see
stay
where the
with,
problem is
Can
now.
we please
It's
stay
Tokubo.
with the
It's
story?
Tokuba. Tokuba is the problem. You see it now.
No, Shola, this is not fair.
7
So-
minutes or nothing.
Don't
Thank
look
you.
more. Don't look more. I zip up.
Thanks.
Thank God. Bullying and parenting and war veterans. Now, we are basically zeroing in on something because of the video, or videos actually, that we saw today of the lead British school in Abuja.
Abuja.
First things first, these schools are meant to be the exact opposite of what they are. You know, because people would pay so much to have their children beaten up. No, they're paying so much with the hope that when this child gets into this conducive atmosphere, they will not be lumped together with animals. It will be just normal children. But you see, parenting is the problem of bullying and is the cause of bullying. Most parents do not even realize that their children are the bullies. And the ones that realize it cannot do anything about it because they are bullies themselves. And children,
They are bullies themselves.
they are. Children are not blind. They are not deaf. They are not dumb. They see what you did in traffic. They see what you did to their mother or their father or their aunties and their uncles. They saw it. They saw the way you spoke to their teacher without respect. And they are like you. They want to be like you. The bulk of these children who are badly behaved are a replica of their parents. The bulk of, I'm not saying all, but the bulk of them are a replica of the parents. They are a mini you and a mini me. So it's what we do. We have to speak now because it is becoming like a pandemic. Every school session, there's always a video or story about bullying.
About
In the
bullying.
last
Yeah.
10 years,
it is
it is
alarming.
unbecoming.
Yes. So alarming.
And you know the sad part? Every single one is from the rich side of town.
Yeah, they're private schools.
Every single bullying video we have seen. Now, is it to say that in the public schools
Doesn't it take place there
it's
too?
not happening? Is that what we're saying? Or is it that they don't have internet or they don't take phones to school? I don't understand. You're talking about taking phones to school. Why do secondary school kids even have backed phones in school? Why do they have that? Why?
There's a lot of laxity, really.
True. And it's not, the phone is even the least of it. The other aspect is that a child was molested to the point, by her peers, to the point where people are debating if she was too weak or just being stoic. I don't know. Or just being strong. But I saw that video and I could not contain myself. I had to quickly share this morning, like, guys, have you seen this video? Look at what's going on here. Parents are the problem. Parents will.
There's no part of that video that makes sense.
You will take this now.
It's very upsetting.
And think that people will learn from all of this.
It's so bad.
But I can guarantee you one thing.
So bad.
You will hear from me
in another week or two.
Yeah,
there's
you
gonna be another
and you know
one
the sad part. You know the sad part for me is that now there is a video of this girl apologizing. When are we going to stop?
Which of the girls apologizing? The leader.
Yeah.
The capo.
There is a video of her apologizing, and I'm sorry.
Apologizing to who, really?
She's apologizing to Nigerians and the girl that she hit. But I'm sorry, that girl needs to be arrested. Her parents need to be arrested. The apology does not do anything. All the people in that video, there is a video, that same video has a boy sitting down and just gisting and talking and doing. Who is the person that made the video? They all should be arrested.
Who raised that
if
boy?
they're too young to be in jail, they should be in some remand correctional center.
Let me quickly chip in something. Daniel Bwala is a politician, and of course is in the corridors of power. One moment is with Buhari, the next moment is with Atiku, this moment is with Tinubu. And this girl that was bullied, her name is the same with Bwala, is Namtira Bwala. So people thought she was Daniel Bwala's daughter. And one of the people who knows Daniel actually reached out to the school on his behalf. Like, look, before even calling him or chatting him up, reached out to the school. And I'm quoting this from Daniel Bwala's press statement, because he had to put out the press statement that that's not his daughter.
Okay.
But that when he saw that video, he also reached out to the school.
Okay.
But that the first person to reach out to him had already reached out to the school. And the school said that they should not worry about it, that they are both minors and they should be treated as such.
They should be treated as minors.
And that's what school, from the owner of the school, they are all
that they should be treated
they will
as minors.
all be going to
Meaning
jail.
that, mind your business, let us handle it.
You will all be going to jail.
Let me
Y'all go to jail.
All over the world now, there's a trend going on. As parents, your child offends the society, and he or she is found guilty, and maybe he or she is too young to serve a term. The parents
you're going to jail.
To go to jail.
You're going to jail
for the misdemeanor.
Even the school needs, some people need to go to jail.
Father, see your son, hold him. Mother, see your daughter, hold him. People should understand that it starts from the home, just as Shola said. And I agree. Two brothers fight at home, and father looks the other way, and mother doesn't care. They go into serious fighting, serious bloody knuckle fighting, and nobody cares in the family. It starts from there.
Y'all are going to jail.
It starts from there.
People should be able to, you have children, if your children do not have the requisite common sense to know that some things are just completely wrong. Explain how you go to school, you pay so much money, only God knows how much school fees on that. How do you pay so much money to get your child beaten up? See, let's call a spade a spade. I think that this girl
came out.
Has a lot of restraint.
Yes.
I think a lot of restraint. She might have looked at it that she was outnumbered.
That's
and there was
self-control.
Because the truth is that it cannot be me.
Serious self-control.
See, I know they will beat me, but at least one person will not go home well.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, public service announcement. We do not support or promote violence.
Who does not?
We don't. All of us.
I support to fighting. You beat me, I beat
talk for yourself.
Speak for yourself.
Because the Lupo is on.
For yourself.
The Lupo is on fire.
Yeah, speak
Before
for yourself.
this program started,
Let everybody.
she's been on fire.
Let everybody speak for themselves.
Because
Yeah.
you are in order, and the woman in you is also speaking.
Speak for yourself, oh.
This is the truth.
Wait, talking about what do you mean by the woman in her?
The
woman in her is violent.
Positive. No, come on, Shola.
No, what are you?
I don't even care whatever anybody says. I don't care.
I want to know what to.
I don't care.
Shola,
Whatever
I know you
is
missed me
disgracing.
from the show yesterday.
I don't care.
Because what you are doing today, I don't understand.
Me, I don't
That's
miss
true.
you.
Somebody was looking for yesterday.
Yahaya Bello, so
I said you were Yahaya Bello yesterday. I forgot to tell you.
we got.
Yeah.
Who was that?
We got information here.
One of your fans.
Who was that?
Yes.
You guys the bar must have been empty yesterday. Because I wasn't
They
around.
looked for you. I'm not joking. No, it's right there. Anyway, so like I was saying, please, someone should tell SI should speak for himself. I'm not very nice.
On a very serious note, government needs to do so. All the schools. The schools structure has to be revisited. You have
the sad part.
Why are we quick to say government all the time?
No, just a minute. Not just a minute.
It's a question, sir.
Just a minute, Shola. Just a minute. This thing happened within a state. Okay? A state that is really, a school that is really under the supervision
the Minister of Women Affairs
of the
actually went
Education
there
Ministry.
today.
I am not saying it to chastise the government. I'm only saying that all hands must be on deck. This thing has to stop.
Like I said before the show, a lot of people might not agree with me, but I feel that we had said this is not the first time it's happening. We come to Lagos, we've heard of in fact, children dying. Yeah, children getting. I feel that maybe if a lot of these schools. Some people need to go to jail. Some principals, some owners of schools need to go to jail. Maybe if people start going to jail, people would sit up because it's also as much as there's a lot of issues with parenting. But the sad part is that when it comes to a school, there's children from all sorts of backgrounds that are all put in the same environment.
True.
The point of the school when the children are in the school is your job as a school is to keep them safe.
Yes.
No matter you are the ones that admitted those children. It is your responsibility to keep those children safe. So whatever happens under your roof, you are responsible for it. It means that the school also created a very lax environment.
Okay.
For children to be able to do whatever it is they like.
There's some laxity somewhere.
You're still listening and watching the Boom Bar on your Boom Radio NG. We're streaming live on YouTube and Facebook at the moment. If you're watching us, please remember to like, comment, and share. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel also. And please contribute. We want to hear from you guys. It would be nice to hear your own take. At the moment, we're referring to the incident at the lead British school in Abuja and the incessant and constant issues of bullying in Nigerian schools. And strangely or interestingly, virtually all the schools are private schools. So it's looking like there's something wrong with the upper class.
Yeah.
It's looking like that. That's what it's looking like to me.
Yeah. True.
And not only are we condemning this collectively, regardless of how we have gone about it, we are also preferring solutions. And that's why, Mr. T, Tokobo, you might not have gotten what I was trying to say. And I'm still going to come back because there's some things that you had said before we started the bar. And those sounded like solutions to me. And that's why I'm saying, let's leave government out of it, because those solutions that you mentioned when you were in school, you mentioned them earlier.
Yeah, true.
Those things sound like a plan. So can't people learn from it? Can they borrow from it? Because we say that we're into solution journalism. That's why I was asking you that let's leave government for a few minutes Because
No.
some of
You are
Tokunbo,
very correct, Shola.
Tokunbo, wait.
Okay, fine. Land it.
I see people.
Land it.
I see
yes,
people
land it.
taking trash out during the rain and dumping it into the gutters. Then we come back to say government did not dredge. Some of these problems are man-made. Some of them are self-inflicted. Some of them now they cause them.
True.
So now we've spent all these millions and hundreds of thousands of naira to send these kids to these expensive schools, and this is happening all the time. So that's why I was asking you a direct question.
Let me look.
So
let
an
me
update on this
just a
matter.
minute. Just a minute.
It's just an update.
Look, yes.
The girl is said, reportedly, she and a few of her classmates, the Mariam Hassan, has been expelled from the school.
They've been expelled.
Yeah.
No. Just that's a school thing. Yeah. Let me say this. Okay. Anything that happens in any school during any session, in session or out session, you get it, and people talk about and people shout over, right? I am always happy that at least at a point, the apex of the central of the movement, there is a government in charge of all schools.
Yeah.
I'm coming from that angle. And I'm coming from the angle that, look, any school found to have looked the other way when this thing was going on can be called to order by the government of that state because it is supervising all activities on the schools or within the schools. I have not said government is should be held responsible. That for me was where my starting point was. And so, Mr. Man, you are in charge of this school. Please kindly report. We need to see you at Alausa or wherever the headquarters of the government is. Come in and see us. If you and we are giving you 7 days to report with a full list of what has happened. Every government has a right to do that. So it's not really out of place for me. Now within the school itself, there is a position called housemaster.
Yeah.
There is a position called class prefect
Class teachers.
or class teachers, right? And in fact, the class teaching situation, they've been categorized. You have teachers who are in charge of specific things, maybe female discipline.
Yeah.
You have those for everything is being in place. I do not know if this school has those things in place. And it boiled out to, let's refer a little bit to the one we had recently, the sad case we had recently, which we turned out to be okay. The principal of the school is also the ward of the child of that particular boy we're talking about. And it is the same thing all over. Principals are wards. And what is happening, everybody should know. And they must take discipline very seriously. It has to be. In some schools, capital punishment, or when there is no capital punishment, are those punishments they give you for disobeying an order a prefect gives you, okay? They actually had to ban those things because they realized it was more punitive than being corrective. You could lay on your knees and made to crawl from one end to the other end of the dormitory. These were things we went through. And by the way, some schools still practice them. 2024.
Anyway,
we have a couple of comments on YouTube. I'm sure that one of the comments will lead us to our next.
So
story.
Bukola Medibi says bullying will not stop if the ones being bullied keeps quiet.
True.
I agree, but I also would say that maybe people should teach their children not to be bullies.
To be docile.
No, not maybe. There should be no maybe there.
If you don't, if
be
you
bold.
if children, no.
She's
If
talking about
children are not
stopping your
bullies,
children from bullying people.
if children are brought up not to be bullies, we won't have a conversation of wanting to defend yourself.
Well, true. Both are correct way.
Again,
Look at it. Shola, I think both ways. It glides both ways.
It's both ways.
Teach your children so they give you rest. Yeah? Right? Okay? And you, when you are being, you can't talk. Stand up, be bold.
There's an in-between.
So, either way.
And the same video, I don't know if you guys have seen the video. There was a young man there who was sat there, and he was unperturbed. He was unmoved.
Yeah.
And there's a girl being beaten just beside you. He folds his arms and he's just relaxed.
Gisting away.
And he was acting like there was nothing wrong. And I was saying to myself, who raised this boy?
You know what that
Who
showed?
raised this boy?
I think it shows they are all in the same. And then two, it wasn't the first time it was happening.
Exactly.
Who raised you?
Definitely all
It
in the
wasn't the
same
first
gang.
time.
Basically,
So
that's what it
basically,
is.
we are all collectively condemning this bullying thing, and we're asking that it's time for parents to step up. This is our resolution. It's even leave the schools for one moment, leave the government for this a second moment. It is you parents.
What are you training your children to
It's
be?
the parents now that
Yes,
we're talking to today.
Yeah.
It's the parents.
Totally agree with that.
It's the parents.
And I'm still talking about schools. The Minister of Education has come out to say that 18 years should be the minimum entry age for universities, and they're looking at ways to enforce it. Basically, he was talking about it during the monitoring exercise, saying that Nigeria operates a 6334 system, which should ensure that candidates do not get into school earlier than 18. But now, with students at age 15 and 16 get into university. Now, my question is, the 6334 thing. I went through 6334 concept, and I still got into school at age 16. So is it about the 6334, or what age are students getting into
What
school?
happened to the smart kids?
I don't even think it's about being smart now.
No,
I think
when you
it's
look at
about
it's part
no.
of it.
I
But
think
go
it's
ahead.
about
Go ahead. Go ahead.
what age do you get into school? Because if you really look at it, you get into school six. That's the primary school. That's age 5. Maybe you get into not maybe you're supposed to start.
Still on the 633.
Yes, yes. You start primary school according to them, because there is nursery school that they don't talk about. But 633 apparently, okay, I think public schools don't have nursery schools. So there's the 6, which you do 6 years in primary school. If you get into primary school at age 5, that's 11. You get into that, and then you do another 6 years in secondary school, 3 years for the junior secondary, and another 3 years. That's between age 16 and 17.
Okay, so the age for going into primary school is 6, not 5.
It is?
It's 6, not 5. You can verify, check, but it is 6.
Okay.
And I think what I see here is that parents have found a way around the whole thing.
We always do.
Everybody wants their child to finish school on time.
Getting fast and get out fast.
Getting fast.
Yeah. Get out
Good.
fast.
So you can quickly, even go and do your masters while your mates are still in uni.
They clap for
or quickly
that.
get a
They
job.
celebrate
Yeah,
that.
it's about parents now. It's not even about the children. The parents, a lot of parents are so into this thing, So you let your child start school earlier than they should. Maybe it's the age that you tell them in the school that they will agree. If you tell them your child is 6, then your child is 6. You tell them your child is 5, then
Okay, go ahead.
still back to the parents and what they do. Then they some of them now go and register. If a school says, for instance, that look, if a child is not X age, if you have not spent 6 years in our school, you're not writing the final exams.
Yeah.
Parents will go to other schools that don't have scruples with it.
Yeah,
and they make sure that
move
their
them
children. So
they write the exams there.
the child now spends only 5 years in primary instead of 6.
Yeah.
Then gets into secondary school at age 10, age 11. Do you understand? Then the same parents will ensure that child does not spend 6 years.
Yeah, a lot of them get into SS2. They will do GC. In fact, maybe if they should scrap that GC itself.
From
SS1,
they have already bought the form.
They bought the form.
So that by SS2, this child has done NECO in another school and done what's it called?
GC.
JAM. But some schools allow it.
Oh, some schools allow it.
Some schools don't care. Their own is that as long as you're paying what you should pay.
Special
so
centers.
before you know what's going on, this kid at 15, 16 is a graduate from the secondary school. So just wait a few months and enter school in uni at the age of 16 or 17 max. then spends 4 years because
with what you even said, a child will not even enter 16. You will enter at like 14.
14.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, I'm just saying what
No.
I know.
Yes, you're right.
So before you know what's
But
going
14.
on, at the age of 19, 20, this child is already a graduate.
Yeah.
Do you understand? While, because of the jamba of jump, when we were growing up,
The problem
hardly
says-
would you find a 18 or 19-year-old in school, in uni. Do you get? I didn't have to jump any corners, but I still got into uni at that age. I still got, because it was at first asking. At the jam, I did
Okay.
once, and I mean,
At what age?
at the ripe age, 18, 19.
18, 19.
Yeah, that's when I got into school.
Now.
And guess what,
Yeah,
Tokumbo?
yes.
I was one of the youngest. In fact,
True.
I think me, my good friend Lawrence, about 5 or 6 of us.
I was going
We had
there.
to group ourselves together.
Yes.
Because everybody in our class was older than we were.
Oh, come.
That's the truth.
They started using shaving.
Sorry, but now that I'm thinking
No,
about it,
don't
I
fall.
did 6 years in primary school.
What?
Did 6 years in secondary school.
yeah.
In fact, you're not even allowed to write all those, what's it called, funny GC in my school.
Yeah.
But I got into uni at age 16.
That's what we're saying. When did you start primary school?
When did you begin?
If you
At
remove,
age 5.
yeah, that's what we're saying.
Do you know something?
That's what we're saying.
Now, when I talk now, you take me as Methuselah.
You are, sir.
But you are.
You are, sir. But talk anyway.
Don't listen to them. Now, do you know there was a time if your hand from here, this right hand,
Could not cover your
could not cover your ear,
You're not qualified to start school.
you are not qualified.
But
Whether you are short,
But what
skinny,
happens to the short person?
That was the system.
That was a system to look for.
No, I knew that was the system. I'm just saying.
That
that you also see
1 year.
children
You
that
not
are
going
big.
in.
Oh, what school?
I mean, you don't get it. That was what before.
I
That was
get
what
your point.
before.
Sorry, I want to take this comment. Marvel
Yeah.
and DC update says, I actually agree with law, but NYS's minimum age shouldn't be 30, but 35.
Okay.
Okay, NYSC.
Okay, because that also trickles down. It
I
also
don't
trickles down.
think that it affects NYSC. Why? Because even if you get into uni
Yes.
at age 18,
Yes.
let's even say you did what course takes about 6 years. Okay, you did MBBS, you did medicine. In 6 years, you're graduating at 24. You do your housemanship at 25. At 26, you're still eligible to go and serve.
Which, of course, we'll have at the present age. However,
But
No,
Can
even
I-
if you
no,
get
can I-
into school
can-
at 18,
Can I just?
19.
I'm sorry, I'm taking
you
you,
need
back
to
a
read that
bit.
question properly.
The guy, the minister, was that a minister advising for 18 years?
Yes, the minister of...
Education.
Did he proffer reasons why?
Yeah, he's saying that people get into school really early. That's the reason why.
And that was just what he said.
Yeah.
There will be more. I want to know I really want to know what damages
Okay, again.
the
again.
kid
I
at
think
18
that what happens
in that environment.
The honest truth is that I think that
Generally, it's about maturity.
I think it's maturity.
It's beyond just
No.
putting out a law. Some things just have to happen naturally. Some kids are not ready for it.
the truth is that
They're not. Mentally, physically, they're not.
how would I say it? I got into school at age 16. Wish I had got into school, and the truth is I think I finished secondary school in June, got into uni. Worst part, I was coming from a very shielded set class where I was like 15 in a class.
Okay.
You know, you had timetable, you had everything.
Okay.
And then dumped into University of Ibadan.
Okay.
When my first class, I said, okay, go to the first class. There were like seas of thousands of heads. I'm like, no, this is not my class. Cannot be. For like first 3 days, I would just go back and like, no, it's not here. Someone else going, that's your class. Like,
Okay.
it was, what's it
You were
called?
looking for your mates. So to
No,
speak.
like, it didn't make sense to me that why were so many people in this class?
population.
Jonas, like, it didn't make any sense.
There's another comment on YouTube.
Okay, Marvel and DC update says, what is the assurance that there won't be ASU strike?
Honestly, there's no assurance.
There's no assurance. That's the truth.
No,
There's no assurance.
that's a given.
Maybe it's
I'm
between
sorry.
ASU and the federal
Look.
government. They're the only ones that can give us an assurance. So, like I was saying, I totally agree with the fact that to a large extent, there is a level of, okay, so when I now got into hostel, it's always something that I said that I finally got a room, and we're 4 in a room, and the whole size of the 4 rooms, the whole size of the room for 4 people was like the size of my toilet in my house. And I was like, no, why am I in this place? Like, the size of my room is like 4 times this place, and I'm the only one there. Like, what am I doing here? But it took a while. Sadly, I won't say sadly, but it took a while for me to adjust. 1, 2, I realized that because there are always going to be older people in school that were in school. I had a way older roommates. They seemed to adjust faster. There were a lot of mistakes that I made, maybe a lot of my classmates or friends made, that you don't see older people that were in school. Maybe you put all in the same set that will make, because they're older, they're more mature. I think that they will have less mistakes. Also, take an example of something like autism. Sadly, in schools, some of these people prey on very young, unknowing people. Very young children. An older person in their 20s, they know what they want and they know what they don't want. Anybody willing to do those things is just because you want to do it, not because you're pressured into it.
Okay, as a mature student.
Yes, as a mature student. So you see a lot of mistakes that are being made are made at very young ages, because, and then especially when I think private universities are helping a bit with their environment. If you go to a private secondary school and then you're thrust into like a federal or a state university, the difference, the culture shock is maddening. I still put that I didn't know how to even cross the road successfully until I got into uni. And it was like, what am I doing here? It took a while.
Was it like a larger world?
Yes. You're like, what are these people? Are there this many people in the world?
No.
Do you understand?
No.
So I get his point completely.
The reasons
that
are...
there are a lot of times that maturity does a lot. In fact, if you go to primary school, a child that is probably the oldest in class, you will probably has better handwriting. His book is probably neater than a child that's maybe a year or 2 younger. Not they're being taught the same way, but there's something that age does to you
That
automatically.
stands you out
It just
a bit.
does it. There's nothing you can do about it. So I think that's where this comes from. And it's something that we probably should actually look into. Basically, schools and everything.
So I feel, though, that there should always be some kind of caveat or some kind of reason to say that for gifted children, they stand aside. You can't stop them.
Smart kids.
You know, there are some kids who will breeze through
Smart
if they
kids.
are allowed, because they
Smart
have
kids.
the intellectual capacity to it. Some of them are even on the spectrum, and they just glean knowledge so fast and everything. However, just like Marvel and DC up there said something about agreeing with that thing, I feel that it might be difficult to force people. I like free will a lot, but I'm speaking to the parents now. You don't have to always live your own life through your children.
Yeah.
And don't be in a hurry. Don't always be. Everybody just wants their children to breeze through school. They said it's 6 years. The child, you want the child to use 5 years.
There's usually a disadvantage.
Yes,
you know?
it always comes with
Something
even with
catches us.
gifted,
You're right,
even
Shola.
with
Very
gifted
correct.
children,
Yes.
there's always still this
Something,
there's always something missing.
You lose something.
Yes, I totally agree.
Something is
Now
lost.
let's move quickly.
Yes.
As we do not have a lot of time. For people that do not know, it is official. Dangote has now also, for the third time in less than a month, they had cut the price of diesel and jet fuel again to 940 and 980 naira. So looks like better times are really coming, and you just wonder, like, why didn't we have refineries all this while? But
A big shout out to the Dangote group for doing this. We now hope that there will be ripple effect,
Yeah,
a trickle
major
down
one.
effect.
Yes, on this. Also, very interesting news as the CBN has also announced that they've also, as of today, they're selling $10,000 each to BDCs at the rate of 1,021 naira.
Yeah,
to a dollar.
we saw the dollar rebound in the last 24 hours or thereabout, and they are going to do what they can to at least keep it decent.
Yeah.
But let's play this in mind. It will always go up and down.
It will fluctuate.
We just want it to go lower than this.
Yeah.
And
it will fluctuate.
the Punch newspaper has put out a story about how the dollar had rebounded and naira had fallen. And I saw on the timeline on Twitter, Nigerians jubilating and celebrating the slight fall of the naira.
Against the dollar.
Arayin and she, you are doing yourself. I have done, and if you don't understand the two that I said, keep it up.
Well, keep it up. Any which way, also POS transactions, they're also saying that have crashed by 226 billion naira, saying that there's more cash in flow now. More ATMs are working, so there's more cash flow around, and
so these times can come,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
it looked like
It's
it was
okay.
never going to come.
I will not say
But
anything.
No, just
apparently,
leave it.
I will say
Because the sources.
I will not say anything.
The sources.
okay. So moving on quickly, let's do a bit of issues from the courts. Courts has also ordered EFCC to serve summons to Yahaya Bello through his lawyer, as he was supposed to be arraigned today and he's still nowhere to be found. Also, a few lawyers decided to protest at the Supreme Court today, accusing the EFCC of witch hunting him. However, the NBA has
Lawyers are protesting.
Yes,
Yeah,
the NBA had come
On
out
behalf
to
of
say,
Yahaya Bello.
yes,
Okay,
that
all right.
they are distancing themselves from such protests.
It is within the rights of those lawyers to protest, and it's also within the rights of the Nigerian Bar Association to disown that protest, which is very good.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say again,
Yeah.
dear Mr. Yahaya Bello, if you are innocent, please
Show
come out
face.
Yeah.
Show face.
and nip this thing in the
In the
bud now.
bud.
Do it now.
I agree. I totally agree with you. Also, in court, still talking about court, popular cross-dresser Bobrisky has now filed a notice of appeal as he's asking the court to convert his 6 months in jail to 50,000 naira fine per count, as it is in the law that he could actually get fined instead of being jailed. So they filed an appeal to that effect. We will definitely be following that case.
After death. You pleaded guilty.
Guilty.
You pleaded guilty, which means that you agree to whatever. But the sentencing was asked by your own definition now, and by a lot of us too. But the truth is, that judge did not do anything outside the law.
Yes, I agree.
So what you're fighting for
might be very difficult.
In fact, it might be vexatious.
Yeah, vexatious is the word. Yeah. You never know what they appeal.
If I was you, and I will never be you, I would just take it on the chin like a man or woman.
Easy, man.
Shola, do you play chess?
I do.
Okay. It's showing up.
I think that like he said, it could go both ways. The judge might be lenient towards him, the next judge, but it could also be vexatious.
Forget, that fine is optional.
It's optional, yeah.
And as discretion
As the discretion of the judge. Yes, I totally agree with you. Now, before we go, the Inspector General of the Police at ours is seeking for the merging of NSCDC and FRSC to the police.
I disagree. I don't want this.
No, please.
Let those two bodies stay on their own.
To a large extent, they
don't.
seem to be less problematic than the police. I think that
why?
they're going to.
How?
They're not going to.
Like,
It's not
I
going to
like
be good.
the creative nature of this IGP, Inspector General of Police, but it should be more concerned about recruiting more men into the regular police roles and let these people,
because these people are still working, they're
specialized
still doing
functions.
their work anyway.
Please separate.
So
don't join road
my
safety with
own
police,
is that
please.
a lot of times when we hear sadly a lot of bad things, it's more about the police than NSCDC or FRSC. So please leave
We
them
need
the
to
way
change
they are.
the
They're
name
performing
or
specialized
nomenclature.
roles, you know?
Yeah.
Why should we be Nigeria Police Force? What are we still forcing? What are we enforcing?
Okay.
Well, people have
That
been
one,
saying it.
that one.
People have been
I cannot-
saying it.
But see,
Why are
but
we
nomenclature
forcing-
doesn't do anything. It doesn't change anything.
Really?
I don't think nomenclature does anything. Take for example, they
Name
change.
works.
They change the.
I know what you're
They
trying to
changed
say.
the-
We need to do a kind of
Yes.
inner.
It's just
I
nomenclature
agree.
is
I
nomenclature
agree.
at the end
but
of the day.
let's stop forcing the place.
Anyway, finally, before
this
we
is not
go,
forcing.
the federal government has begun unbundling 11 electricity distribution companies, and they're ordering the sale of 4. So first things first, 4 of them, which are under, they have been taken over by banks and AMCON, are now saying that they're going to be selling them off. This is by the power minister. The minister also said that they have come to realize that a lot of these distribution companies cannot take a lot of things that they're doing. Take, for example, he said the Ibadan Disco is supposed to provide power to 7 states. So they're unbundling each disco to, according to state lines, each state would have its own distribution company. So it makes it bigger. And also the fact that the federal government actually owns 40% of these discos. The federal government has kept they've sat back and be looking at them do whatever it is they want to do. But now they're going to be way more involved, and that everybody is going to be, according to state lines, they're also going to need governors to also be very involved in the power sector. Now, like that he's saying, like the Ibadan Disco has been taken over by AMCON. So at the moment, they really don't have proper structure, but they're also still feeding power to 7 states.
The power value chain, beyond the distribution companies that Tolubo has been talking about now, the GENCOs, the generating and the transmission companies, are also being broken down along that state lines. Enugu State have their approval now. Ekiti also have theirs. And so they now have their own version of the NERC, which is the regulatory body for power within the state. So they're asking other states to also step up. So the other aspect that she talked about is the discos, which is the distribution. They're also talking about regulation now, so that within the state lines, any company that wants to start generating power or distributing power will now go to the state-owned regulatory bodies instead of the national.
Yeah.
But if you go across the state lines, then you go to the NERC. So this is also going to make power easier for people to start creating now, because your licensing will be within the state. It makes it faster, and hopefully we can start to reap from this. It can't be immediate, but it can be immediate.
But I think that, according to the Minister of Power, is saying that a lot of times once it's smaller, then you can isolate what the issue is in different states, instead of just, because at the moment I think there are just about 15 distribution companies across the whole country. So 11, sorry, there are just 11 of them across the whole country. So there are going to be a lot of restructuring as time goes on. Now, I said finally again. President Tinubu is is out of Abuja on an official visit to the Netherlands, and Saudi Arabia is supposed to visit the Kingdom of Netherlands on invitation of the Prime Minister, and is also attending the World Economic Forum between April 28th and 29th in Riyadh.
Since he became president, this is about the 4th time that he's going to be meeting with the Netherlands president, which shows that there's something cooking somewhere.
Definitely something.
And if you look at most of the big companies from Netherlands that are in Nigeria, they are more or less one of our biggest partners when it comes to trade, within Nigeria and the Netherlands. So this might be the catalyst for bigger things. Same with the meeting in Saudi Arabia. Hopefully there will be some things on the sidelines of these meetings that would bring more investments and FDIs into Nigeria.
It's not just an excursion.
Yeah, no. Okay, we're kind of out of time anyway. But the army has also dismissed soldiers guilty of stealing armored cables at the Dangote Refinery. Also, INEC has announced
just dismissal.
I know they have to dismiss
now
them
they
first.
Can be prosecuted.
Then they can be prosecuted.
Okay.
INEC has announced a final list of candidates for Edo State governorship election. That I think that we can sit down and look at that list tomorrow to see who is there and who is not there, because that's also very interesting as well. But anyway, on that note, that is all we're able to take today on the Boomba. Thank you for listening. Thank you very, very much for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of the Boomba. Do have a beautiful, beautiful day ahead.
Take care.